The truth about democracy. Winston Churchill said many years ago, that democracy is the least bad of all of the systems of government, produced out of human experience. Winston Churchill is also quoted as having once said, "Most people, sometime in their lives, stumble across truth. Most jump up, brush themselves off, and hurry on about their business as if nothing had happened. Just as a bell that has been rung cannot be unrung. The annoying problem with the truth is that, once you learn it, you cannot unlearn it." Democracy, which has become the cure-all mantra, quoted incessantly by all Western politicians, is a lie and a confidence trick, that they and their puppet masters are now trying to deceive the rest of the world with, and are using their economic and/or military muscle and means to force other nations to adopt, so that their puppet masters can use the politicians to help them to rip off all the other nations too, just as they have done already to the vast majority of their own citizens. It is very simple to see that democracy is a lie and a confidence trick. All you have to do is analyze what it is supposed to be and then compare that definition to the reality. Democracy is supposed to be the rule of the majority. Government of the majority of the people, for the majority of the people, by the majority of the people. Let us now compare the smooth deceptive definition, to stark reality. In the Western world approximately 95% of the wealth is possessed by approximately 5% of the people. That means, using these same figures, that 95% of the people, the overwhelming majority, possess only 5% of the wealth. The politicians would have us all believe that this is the will of the majority. That is the politicians' idea of what they call democracy. When did the 95% of people, the overwhelming majority, ever vote for the right for themselves to be poor and vote for the tiny 5% minority to possess their own, the poor people's, share of the nation's wealth, that the poor majority's ancestors have fought and died to protect? The ruler of the universe has prohibited democracy because he knew that the rich would use it and other means to deceive and rip everyone else off, keep the majority down and poor, just as he wrote, via his prophets in the Bible. He gave the world, via Moses, the perfect system of government, under which there is no poverty, no poor people, and consequently no need to resort to crime to survive. He prohibited the writing of laws and economic policies by humans, in order to protect the majority from abuse and oppression created under the home-made laws of the rich and powerful. Many people can see the democracy, demon crazy, deception and refuse to vote, so the wily politicians made up special rules to allow themselves to rule using only a majority of the votes, even when the number of people who vote is only a minority of the population. How can that possibly be conceived to be the rule of the majority? Of course it is not the rule of the majority, it is a confidence trick. Those who can see the deception, unfortunately do not know what to do about the confidence trick, because they do not study, understand and apply the teachings of the Bible, having been deceived yet again by the misinterpretations of the churches, who work with, and are part of, the political system, and so just watch the puppets dancing on their strings, not knowing how to cut those strings forever. The ruler of the universe pre-warned you about all of this in the Bible and that you are not a law unto yourselves and that if you will not live by his law, in prosperity and peace, then you will die by his law, either, during Armageddon, or, shortly after, during the reaping. Unfortunately the lunatics have taken over and are running this asylum, but the law is still the law, even if you decide to break it, and the penalty, in this case, as you have all been told repeatedly, is death. It is not quite too late yet, to return to the covenant, prosperity and freedom from oppression in the Torah, the 5 books given to Moses: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers and Deuteronomy, which are the first 5 books in the Bible.